I spent last Sunday building tools that I used to pay people thousands of dollars to build for me. I built commission calculators. I built org charts. I built an entire flow chart or a flow map of my entire business, from lead generation to onboarding to, client fulfillment, all of it. And I did all of it in 2 hours with AI, completely done. And when I was looking back at everything I just built with a voice prompt using an AI tool, I had this moment where I went, okay, if someone like me can do all of this highly professional work in 2 hours on a Sunday while watching documentaries with a voice prompt, what does that mean for every agency owner out there that is running a business? And here's the honest answer. And it's not the one that most people want to hear. I built 2 of my own agencies. One of them I scaled to over $500,000 a month before I sold that agency in a multi-million-dollar exit. And I've worked with over 100 agency owners at this point. So when I say that I've thought very deeply and seriously about this question, AI and what it means for all of us, I mean it. I think about it all the time. Now, I'm not a doomer about this, but I'm also not going to sugarcoat things. So let me give you the scary version of what AI does to agencies first. There is a world coming, maybe 18 months from now, maybe 36 months from now, where a chiropractor, for example, goes into Manus AI, which is, by the way, already fully integrated into Meta right now as I record this video. And they type a prompt or they voice note a prompt, and that prompt builds all of their campaign. The static images, ad copy, video, the targeting based on historical data in their geographic market, all of that. And all the chiropractor has to do is hit the publish button after it builds it, right? That doesn't sound crazy anymore, right? And if that is the world that we are heading into, then yes, some agencies are in serious trouble. But here's the thing, not for the reason that most of us think. So here's what I've been telling the agencies that I work with about this. If the main thing that makes you valuable today as an agency owner is knowing how to run ads or build funnels, that is a risk that is worth acknowledging. I'm not saying that your agency is just going to die off tomorrow and be irrelevant, but I am saying that you should look hard at what you are actually selling in your business. Most agencies are competing on execution, and execution is exactly what AI is coming for first. Here's what that looks like. All right, so if this over here is your agency and what you offer, so if you do campaigns, right? So you run their ads, creative, maybe you do their copy, right? If you do all these things today, so this is you, right? And over here is what AI can do. If they can set up campaigns, they can set up ads, they can set up creative, they can set up copy. This becomes equal, which means you have a problem if it becomes very easy to do this with AI or an agency. Agencies that compete purely on execution, they set up campaigns, they do the creative, they build the funnels, they're exposed. I'll say it straight. They're not doomed, but they're definitely exposed in this market. And here's where things get even more real. Go High Level, for example, it's a tool that already exists, obviously, right? A med spa owner today, or a chiropractor, gym owner, whatever, they can go license the software right now. They can build their own meta campaigns. They can set up Lead Connector and run their leads into Go High Level. They can build their nurture sequences, their funnels, all of it, their calendar. They can do all of that today by themselves. But most don't, because it takes time to learn. There's friction there, and most of them would rather pay an agency to do it while they just run their business. But if AI makes execution so simple that any business owner can prompt their way to a live campaign in 45 seconds, all that friction disappears. The reason that they were outsourcing to work with the agency, it goes away completely. So I want you to be honest with yourself right now. Where does your value actually come from? Is it execution, or is it something deeper that you're doing for your clients? But here's what gets even more interesting, because there's another side to this. And this is the part that most agency owners completely miss. The need for leads and customers never goes away. I don't care how smart any of these tools get. A chiropractor, a gym owner, a med spa, a law firm, every single one of us, them, wakes up every single morning asking the same question. How do I get more customers? That is not going away. And tools existing is not the same as businesses or people actually using them effectively or using them well or even wanting to use them. Go High Level, for example, has been around for years. A med spa owner, like I mentioned, can run their own campaigns, but almost none of them, in fact, probably a fraction of a percent, actually use it because they're busy running their own business. Chiropractors want to adjust patients. Gym owners want to sell memberships. Med spas want to do injectables. They don't want to learn a software or a platform. The same thing is going to happen with AI for most of them. The tool existing doesn't mean that they will use it. But here's the part that I don't think that we're talking about enough. The agencies that actually win in this market, the ones that I've watched grow the fastest, retain clients the longest, build real enterprise value, they're not winning on execution alone. They're winning on lead nurture. And I'll give you a real example of this. 2.5 years ago, I built a human call center inside my agency. We had 20 agents that would do all the follow-up for chiropractors, scheduling, triaging, qualifying the leads, rescheduling, all of it. And eventually, I took it up a notch and I started hiring clinical assistants. These were people that actually worked in chiropractic offices because I wanted them to have high-level conversations for my clients, for their prospects that move the needle on show rates and conversion rates. And that kind of depth, that relationship layer or service layer, that is what clients end up paying for long term, not just setting up a campaign or creating a video or an image. That lead nurture, new customers. And here's the thing, AI is going to actually free up a lot of time. If it's not already doing it, it's going to free up a lot of time for you, the agency owner, to get better at exactly that. So think about your agency like a value stack. Most agencies are stuck at the bottom. The ones that survive AI, they move up the stack. All right. So if you think about it like this, if there is a value stack in your agency, down here, we have execution, right? So this is things like, just like setting up the ads or maybe creating the images, right? Okay. And then in the middle, we have strategy, right? And up at the top here, we have nurture. And so what I would say is AI is coming for this. If you only do this execution in your agency, AI is coming for execution. So you should put more of your focus in delegating execution to AI, right? And then put your focus in your agency at becoming better at strategy for your clients and better at nurture to move your agency up the value stack ladder. So the real question isn't, will AI kill agencies? The real question is, what do you do with the extra time that AI is going to buy you back to operate inside your business? Because here's the honest truth. When most agency owners, when business owners, us, when we get more time back with a tool, we do one of two things. We either fill it with more low-level work, or they just do nothing, or we just do nothing. And the agencies that are going to dominate over the next 3 to 5 years or 1 to 3 years with the speed at which AI is moving are the ones who take the time, the energy, the resources that AI gives us back, and they're going to put that into the top of the stack. More touch points, better follow-up, stronger client relationships, real strategic conversations. And by the way, this also fixes your pricing model. Right now, most of us price around a lot of manual work, people, teams that happens inside our agency, a lot of employees, a lot of hours. And if AI is able to cut your delivery time in half, you have two options. Okay, so here we have two models. We have the old model and we have the AI model. And let's say under the old model, 60% of time was spent on execution for your clients, right? This is like setting up the ads, creative, copy, etc., right? 60% of time. And then, maybe the remaining 40% went to nurture, if you're doing that at all, strategy for clients. And in this model, you have 10 clients at, let's say, $5K a month, right? Under the AI model, I don't know what it just did there. There we go. Under the AI model, you have now 30% of the time that is spent on this because you can leverage AI. And that leaves you 70%, or that leaves you here, all this, which is free time to do one of two things. You can do A, which is you can take on 5 more clients at 5K. So now you can work with more clients in this free time. Or you can do B, which is you can go deeper with your existing clients, right? So you can do more of this. So you can do more nurture, more strategy, which will increase LTV, retention, referrals, all of that, right? So either do A, take on more clients with the free time it's given you, or do B, go deeper with your existing clients to increase LTV, referrals, and retention. Either you serve more clients at the same margin, or you go deeper with existing clients, you get more lifetime value, you extract more lifetime value, you get more referrals from them, your retention is better. The agencies that take real responsibility off of their clients' plate, not just running or setting up a campaign, but actually nurturing that lead effectively, managing the relationship, giving them the insight, those are agencies that are harder or impossible to replace with or without AI, or without AI being a factor. So here is a practical move for you. Here's an exercise that you should do. And I did this myself over a weekend, and it took me about 90 minutes. I mapped out my entire business. I created a flow chart, every single step from the very first touch point with a prospect all the way through lead generation, sales, onboarding, fulfillment, what happens at the 90-day mark, what happens post 90 days, all of it. And then I went through and I asked one question. At every single step, at every point, can AI do this better and faster than my team, the way or than the way we are doing it right now? And until you do that exercise, you're just guessing. You don't actually know where you're inefficient. You don't know what to replace with AI. You don't know what to double down on. You're just using the tool whenever it seems convenient. This took me 90 minutes. I used AI to do it, right? That's it. And I came out of it with a completely clear picture of where I was leaving money on the table and where there was opportunity in my business to leverage AI, to leverage a tool. So go do that right now, not next week, today, because the agencies that are building this the right way right now, they're going to look back in a year, or we're going to look back in a year or 2 years or whatever, and we're going to call this the best opportunity that we had to build the right foundation and infrastructure to scale our business in the AI world and AI market. So yes, AI is coming for your agency, but it's coming for execution-only agencies. Not because the demand for marketing is going away. Businesses are always going to want more leads and customers, right? If your only value is knowing how to set up or run a campaign, that gap is closing fast. The move here is to up the value stack for your clients. Let AI handle the low-level execution. Take that time and put it back into nurturing your clients' leads better, your relationships with them, strategic depth with them. That's where clients will stay for years instead of a couple months. That's where your agency can become something that's not only providing real value to the marketplace, but where you can build your own enterprise value. And if you want to see exactly how we help agency owners restructure their offer, their operations, all of this to compete at that level in this AI market that we are in, there's a link below in the description. You can learn more about how we've helped agency owners like Nick go from $40,000 a month to $125,000 in MRR in under 90 days. And if you want to go deeper on the offer side specifically, how to build a value proposition that doesn't compete on execution at all, I created an entire video for agency owners like you on that. Go ahead and just check out the next video.